Hello, Taurus. This is Michelle, and I'm here to do your February 2020 tarot reading. We're going to be using the classic Rider-Waite tarot deck by US Games, and I'm also bringing back from the Voices of Saints the card that we pulled for you in December, which was Saint Rose of Lima. This is from the Voices of Saints by Los Scarabeo. So this is a reading for our Taurus friends in the month of February 2020. Taurus, February 2020. What are the messages we need for the highest and best good for our Taurus friends? Taurus, I'm going to go ahead and give the deck a cut. That was an interesting cut, a little bit uneven. Actually, quite uneven. We have the 9 of Rods on the bottom of the deck. I want to say, suggesting for some of you that you have completed a large project, perhaps, that was not easy. You had to fight your way through it, I want to say. And you are in a position, perhaps, for some of you, where you are able to look forward now. Forward into the future. Let's continue, Taurus. We have the 2 of Rods now, continuing with the concept of the rods, suggesting ambition, perhaps, work, the potential for new people coming into life. It looks like, Taurus, you are open now for this. For some of you, it seems that you are just now thinking about this, about all the opportunities that are ahead for you, looking out to the big wide world. You might feel a little bit stuck at this time. That's possible. Like you really have to stay committed into a certain situation. Nonetheless, it looks like, Taurus, you are still manifesting a more opportunity into the future. That is what I am picking up right now. And now we have the Knight of Cups coming in. All right, interesting, crossing. You might be waiting for a message, some good news to come about. It might be for some of you that you feel like something just needs to give in order for things to just jettison ahead, I want to say. It's almost like waiting for a trigger. Let's continue on, though. We have the 7 of Rods. My goodness. Okay, a lot of rods showing thus far in your reading, Taurus. Let's continue, and it's the 4 of Swords. All right. I want to say, Taurus, again, what I am picking up is this idea that you have really spent a lot of time dreaming, thinking about how you would like your future to be. I think for some of you, there is perhaps some competition, though, involved. There are some other people, perhaps, that you need to get past, shall we say. I like the 7 of Cups coming, 7 of Rods coming in, though, because it also tells me that in your picture for the future, you are seeing yourself on top of things. Beautiful to see, especially at the beginning still of 2020. Let's continue on. The Knight of Wands. All right, Taurus, it looks like you have been and are on a mission. I'm seeing, even though there is a bit of stuck energy here going on, I feel that underneath all of this, it is just almost like I'm getting this image of like lava. Okay, that's the image I'm getting, like lava just circulating underneath, just getting ready to almost just burst forth. I think that's how much energy, Taurus, you have building up inside of you. For some of you, I want to say it could be that there's actually quite a bit of tension, or there has been quite a bit of tension involved in this. I mean, if that's the case, I'm happy to see, or I want to suggest, if it's not the case, that you have spent some time either in meditation or doing something to just calm yourself. I think it's quite good to have all this energy building up, but at times, knowing Taurus and how things can sort of build up and then erupt at times, what I'm picking up here is that it would be a very good idea to find either activities. It could actually be something along the lines of meditation or prayer, but it could even be a physical activity, actually, that's a little bit counter to the Four of Swords, but I'm still picking it up, an activity to let off some steam. I'm going to bring in one astrological note because I'm seeing this connection now. And what's coming through for me, Taurus, is this idea about really taking care of yourself. Your ruling planet, Venus, will be in Aries in February. And so that suggests that it could be a time to really turn inward, turn that love and care that you are so often spreading out and giving to others, and just allow it to come back and flow into yourself for a time. February can be a time of great self-love for you. And I'm also picking that up with the Four of Swords. Let's continue on. Here's the Knight of Swords. Very consistent. Look at these two knights. And what I'm seeing here, Taurus, is that if you can take that time out to replenish yourself, any energy that has been spent that you have put out into the universe, as you take care of yourself, it is going to build back up. Bring that energy, your energy, back into your own etheric field. This is going to give you energy to move forward throughout, I feel, really the year of 2020. And now we have the Tower coming in. All right, well, now that's interesting because, well, we are coming out of January with that Saturn-Pluto conjunction. It's hard to ignore, if you're aware of the astrology, that January was just a very difficult month for many of us. And it is possible that for some Taurus people, you have felt like your life was really just, I want to say, turned upside down. I'm really looking at this card very literally, just things turning upside down. But I don't feel really, Taurus, with your strength, with your ability to root yourself and get back to your core self, to ground yourself. You are an earth sign. I don't feel this is going to be a problem. I'm also picking something else up here. This is an old theme, but I'm just going to mention it, that in times like this, when things are really torn asunder, oftentimes Taurus is the strength for others. And for some of you, it could be that that was occurring over the new year. If you were the strength for others, your family and your friends, again, the idea coming through to me to allow some time in February to take care of yourself, to build back up that Taurus strength. We have the Magician coming in, exactly what I was thinking, Taurus, what was coming through to me, and that is that you have the ability, almost a magical ability, a magical power, we might say, to bring back strength, to connect yourself to the cosmic energy, while at the same time being connected to the earth plane. It is like a dual, I want to say, energy conduit that can run through you eternally. Here we have the sign of eternity here. And I am just seeing a renewed strength for you, Taurus. I'm so happy to see this We have the Empress coming in. Wow, these are beautiful cards for you, Taurus, suggesting here is your ruling planet Venus, suggesting love in the month of February, Valentine's Day. You could be manifesting this. I see you thinking about being very comfortable at home with family, with loved ones. And this is actually another way for Taurus to regain their strength in the month of February. Our final card for you, Strength. Absolutely beautiful, beautiful to see, Taurus. I'm so happy to see this reading. I'm particularly drawn. I just want to move these cards just over a little bit, because what's really coming through here is all of the bright yellow that is coming through in these three final major arcana cards. Look at the positivity of the Magician, the Empress, Strength. There is, I feel, a very beautiful, loving, and strong energy coming in for you in February, Taurus, despite the difficulties that may have happened in the month of January or even in early February. I want to bring in finally for you, Taurus, again, St. Rose of Lima, because this was from your December reading, and we were going to read up and learn a little bit about these saints. And St. Rose of Lima is just a major, major saint. And she is from, I actually read two time periods, both 16th and 17th century, so this is quite a while ago, but from Peru. The story about her is fascinating. She was, as the card depicts, absolutely beautiful. She was physically just absolutely beautiful. Of course, also in her heart, but she had great physical beauty. From a very, very young age as a child, she knew that she wanted to be a nun and devote herself to Christ, and in fact practiced many of the Catholic rituals at a very, very early age, including daily communion, adoration of the Blessed Sacrament. These are things that often adults would do that feel really called to Christ through the Catholic or the Orthodox Church. But St. Rose of Lima did this as a child. She was so beautiful, though, that she had many men interested in her, of course, wanted to marry her. So she actually scarred her face and cut her hair. This is just really astonishing, an astonishing story. But it was in her effort to really send these male suitors away so that she could just focus herself on her devotion to Christ. Eventually, she did join the Order of St. Dominic. She continued a life of penance and prayer. It's just an astonishing story. And I was thinking about you, Taurus, and how this related to your sign. What really came up to me was the idea of absolute fixed determination. When Taurus knows what Taurus wants, there's nothing that can turn you aside from that goal. I feel that St. Rose of Lima really represents that fixed mindset and that knowing about what they are supposed to do with their life. Let's look at the number 74, which is interesting. I contemplated that for a bit. If we add them together, we have an 11, which we can further reduce down to a 2. And perhaps coincidentally, but I couldn't help but think that you are indeed the second sign of the zodiac. So very interesting, beautiful card to receive. I want to say, Taurus, that if you are looking for strength, although I am seeing it very clearly in your reading, I'm going to recommend praying to Saint Rose of Lima, asking for her intercession through this period of time. I want to thank you so much for coming back to this reading in February for 2020. If you're new to the channel, thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you next time.